Kepa did his possible best, but it wasn't enough to keep that shot out. That header out. Casemiro with a lot of power behind it. Sidney, let me start off with you. I don't know, but Chelsea and United games have become like this over time, at least the last 2 years. It's either a 1-1 draw, a goalless draw, a 2-2 draw. The game itself lacked quality for me. I don't know about you, but in the end, was it a fair result?
I think it was a fair result. And as I've said, Chelsea United games over the past couple of seasons been... I think next time you should just agree to just place the points and not even go on the pitch at all, because it seems as if they can't get the measure of each other. But as I've said, I believe it was a fair result. I don't think Chelsea did enough to win the game. United didn't do enough to win the game either. United had the better first half. As you have just seen from the highlights, they got the better chances. But once Graham Potter realized that and he made that tactical switch, bringing in Kovacic and taking out Cucurella, making it a three-man midfield, you could see that Chelsea began building themselves up in the game more, and they made a better fist of it in the second half. And United were absolutely poor in the second half. So I think neither team did enough to win the game. So it's probably best that they share the points. And Graham Potter will be looking, because Chelsea looked especially very toothless in the first half. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if they didn't plan right for the game, but it's good he was able to sense it early and made the requisite changes. So not an exciting game at all. A lot. We looked forward to this game. Chelsea United has always been a big game, especially in Africa, because of the
two of them might have the biggest fan bases in Ghana.
Fan bases over here.
Definitely Ghana. I think Nigeria to be Man Utd, Arsenal. I think Arsenal is more popular than Chelsea.
But
Nigeria.
Chelsea very popular in Ghana. Man United as well. Let me just stay with you before I go to Susu. Potter started this game with Aubameyang. He had very little impact on the game, but I watched Broha for about 5-10 minutes, and he looked like he made a bigger impact in the small space of time. I mean, just what do you make of that? What do you make of Aubameyang and how Chelsea should use him going forward?
Well, Aubameyang, since his transfer, you can see he has not been spectacular. He hasn't really torn down any trees. He hasn't looked like the Aubameyang we know, the clinical Aubameyang we know. And his movement has been a bit alright. We have not seen what's happening over there, but he has gotten a couple of goals. He scored in the victory at Crystal Palace. He has been, the performance has not been very good, but he's been putting himself up there, And it could be that the whole attack hasn't yet gotten a hang of what Potter is expecting of them so far. You said Broha did well when he came on, but the last game, the game just before this one against Brentford. Broha also he played from the start. Then he got some opportunities. He got a clear one where he could have just laid the pass for a tap in for Mount, and he failed to do that. So both strikers, there's a bit lacking over there, and Aubameyang definitely, because of his experience, because of his know-how, and because of the personality he has been over the years, he will definitely get the nod over Broha at this point in time. So it remains to be seen how they'll continue to acquit themselves going forward. I think keeping with Aubameyang is not a bad option, because we know his quality, we know what he's capable of doing. We also know Broha from his stint at Southampton, but I think Potter is looking for more of experience. He's not looking for intangibles, looking for stuff he can trust right now. And out of the two, Aubameyang is more of the experienced striker. So going with him right now, I don't think is that bad of a call.
Let's talk about Man United, Susu. So they needed a late Casemiro header to win this game. I don't know, but they seem to have done well in a lot of the bigger games. What is it about this Chelsea team that's so hard for United to crack? Because yesterday was one of those other games. They didn't have a lot of clear-cut opportunities, even though they had the better chances among the two teams.
Man U's chance creation for me has been pretty okay. The problem is a lot of them are falling to Marcus Rashford. I don't want to single Rashford out, but his decision-making is not good. He's impressing with his movement. He seems a bit more sharp than he has been in the last few months, but his decision-making in front of goal has not... Even the Spurs game is a great example. He got a few chances you think to yourself, maybe a Cristiano Ronaldo would have scored, especially with this whole debate about whether Ronaldo should be in their team or not. But you also ask yourself, will Ronaldo have had the pace to still get there at his age? So there's trade-offs having Rashford in their team. He's looking very active, but he still doesn't have that killer instinct. His decision-making is not there. But Man U are trying, they are creating chances. And even Casemiro, I want to single him out because he scored the goal to save them the points. But he had a shaky start. We all thought that, have Real Madrid scammed United? Clearly, let's be honest, he's not worth 70 million at his age and that kind of stuff. But he's proven a very good midfield player. He's doing his job very well. And in the long run, it looks like this signing will be a success. But he had a shaky start. He's gone on. And you can see the Man Utd team, they are slowly building themselves up. People are figuring out what they are meant to do, how they are meant to play, and what they are meant to do. And even then, they don't have the full complement of the forward line. You are not seeing Martial, who looks to be the...
Do they have a settled 11 yet?
I would believe Martial is the first choice striker.
Okay.
And Rashford would rather play on the... Rashford and Sancho are battling out for the left. But because Martial is not around, Rashford is playing through the middle. So I don't even think this is what Ten Hag would ideally want to play. I believe you'd like to start Martial and have Rashford or Sancho on the left, depending on how he's feeling.
Yeah.
But so for me, it's a good start. They are doing well. They are in reach of the top 4, which is where you want to be at this stage of the season. Yeah. There's a lot of the season to go. There's the post-World Cup. We don't even know what teams will do in January, because I feel we might see a very interesting January, because certain players might perform at the World Cup, raise their value, and certain teams want them. So a lot could change for a lot of clubs in January. So I'm not too concerned with where Man U are. They need to keep pace with the top 4 and give themselves a chance after the World Cup, because I feel like the World Cup will be another pre-season for some teams, and a reset, and then that's when the real league will begin.
Now, let me just stay on the United agenda. I mean, I feel like there were people who were waiting for this game to end and say, you didn't play Ronaldo, you banished him to the reserves, and you were struggling to score goals in this game, but he's not been scoring this season himself. Will United come to a point where they will have a legit goal-scoring crisis in this team? Because, like Susu said, they don't create the most chances. They are not the most clinical team as well.
I don't think it will get to that stage, because there are enough goal scorers in the team to just keep on motoring through. There's no one, you can see, there's no one typical goal scorer. We have Ronaldo in the team, but Ronaldo isn't playing like the Ronaldo we know. He's not playing like the Ronaldo of last season, not playing like the Ronaldo of 2 seasons ago. So you can't really put you can't really place your bet on him at this moment in time. And Rashford, we all know he's not a striker. He doesn't take the shots like a striker. He doesn't finish like a striker. He doesn't even approach taking the shot like a striker. And Thierry Henry even pointed it out.
That was a very funny video.
Yeah, very funny video after the Tottenham Hotspur game. You just have to, as a striker, you have to take the way you finish is very crucial. You don't have to just lace it all the time. You have to sometimes can caress the ball a bit smoothly. Best place a bit. And Rashford seems. He has done it in the past. We know he has it in him, but it doesn't come instinctively to him. He's not a typical finisher. So that's the issue we have over there. And as Susu said, Martial, I would say, he has what you would say Ten Hag requires. That's the guile to get past people, to link up, and also a better finishing ability than Rashford. So he is the perfect blend of what Ten Hag wants right now, but he also has injury crisis. But as I was saying, United have a lot of guys who can get goals. There's Anthony. I've seen him scoring a couple of goals recently. Bruno scored the last game.
You have to remember, Bruno was carrying the Man U attack
for a long time.
For about a season and a half before Ronaldo did.
Banging on the goals. And he still has it in him to keep on scoring. And you have the likes of Eriksen, who hasn't scored yet, but we know he has it in him to also score. Sancho has scored a couple of goals. He's looking very atrocious at the moment, but as time goes on, let's see.
Let's just stay on that for me.
If you want to make a very simple analysis, you can say that when Bruno was the one leading the attack, they went to the Champions League twice. Ronaldo came, they didn't get to the Champions League. I'm not saying that that's the reason, but I'm saying that if you want to even break it down to like a very simple level,
he
you
also
can
tell
argue
you that he did his bit, but just stay on Sancho for me. Played a good game against Liverpool, scored a good goal, and that's been it from him, really. I can't seem to figure him out. What's going on with him?
When I watch Sancho, he's someone you can see he knows how to play football. There are some players, they play ball, but there's no dynamism. Like, he's so lackadaisical when he gets the ball. He's not trying to take people on. He's just trying to keep it cute, play back to the fullback. He's just not direct enough. I just wish he'd try and take on his man.
Aggression problem?
It's maybe aggression or confidence. I don't know which one. But he's just not driving forward. He's not putting pressure on his fullback. And if you don't put pressure on the fullback, you're not going to create anything. Because you have to put pressure on the end. If you notice, most of his goals, a lot of the time, is someone cutting back to him. He's in the middle, and he kind of sweep. Because he has that technique. He scores nice goals, he sweeps it in. But when it's time to put pressure on the fullback, he's never doing it. And that's the difference between him and Anthony. When I watch the two of them, I would say that he's probably better at football than Anthony. If you get what I'm saying.
I get what you mean.
But because he doesn't put pressure on the fullback, and Anthony does, Anthony is doing more for the team. So your talent is not everything. It's your attitude, the way you use it. And Anthony is using his talent better. Even Rashford, he's using his talent better. A lot of players in the Man Utd team are using their talent better. But Sancho is not barely using his talent at all. He's just linking the play, just bare minimum. Just get it, pass it to the someone, pass it to the fullback. But there's no pressure on the fullback. So the fullback is comfortable the whole game. And that's when you see the top wingers in the world, they are putting pressure on their fullback. They are making their fullback backpedal. They are making their fullback make tackles he doesn't want to make. So Rashford and Sancho really needs to add that to his game. He needs to be direct. He needs to put pressure on the fullback.